Good morning. I asked for your prayers yesterday for a friend of mine who's in the ICU, who's beyond anything we can do, right? Now we give her to God, and God takes the best care ever, regardless of what the outcome is. A cure, recovery, it's all good. But it has me talking and thinking to myself about prayer in general and the mystery of it. And I'm wondering for myself, we've been taught in our childhood to call on God. God hears our prayers. God answers our prayers. And I'm wondering for myself, do I approach prayer in the right way sometimes? When I come to God with something critical, something that's really on my mind, whether it's a job interview or the health of a family member or a friend, or whether it's just wrestling with some of my own growth issues and the need that I have to reflect on my own life. And I'm wondering if sometimes I use prayer as a means to an end. Do I pray in a particular way to get the outcome I want? Of course God's going to answer, right? We know the story even of the Israelites, the Hebrews that were slaves for so long in Egypt, and how they prayed for generations to be released from slavery, or how the early Israelites, the Jewish people, prayed for a Messiah. And for generations, these two groups prayed for an outcome. And even though they didn't live, most of them didn't live to see the outcome, God answered their prayer, right? We know that they were freed from slavery and that the Messiah was born. So is there an invitation to me to not pray in such a way that binds the hands of God? Do I think of God as a vending machine, for example, that I have all the right formulas, I pray the right prayers, I push the button, and poof, I get the answer I want? So where does God's loving will and mercy come into play if I get exactly what I want because I said the right prayers? Is my invitation here, is God inviting me to pray in such a way that I release my attachment to the outcome? Of course, I want my friend to grow old. I want her to be healthy. I want her to see her grandchildren get married. I want her to be able to run and play and sing again. And all those things are so possible. But what if I prayed in a way that allowed God to act? I'm not saying this is easy at all. Many of us only pray at the end when we've tried everything else ourselves first. God is sort of a last resort. So if I could win my heart over to the fact that God loves this person more than I ever could dream of loving her, that God loves you more than anyone else in the world and wants the best outcome for you, then the answer to our prayers may not always look the way we want. What if I'm looking over here for an answer to my prayer, and God is answering me over here? Would I say that God didn't answer my prayer because I didn't see it over here? Would I say that God is indifferent? So what if I prayed my prayer and threw all of my concerns into the loving hands of God and allowed God to respond, to trust God to respond, not with a lesson, not to teach me something, but to love me and to love the people I'm praying for? So surrendering the outcome, praying with all my heart, and trusting God to do what God sees is the best thing. And if it doesn't happen in the way I wanted or at the time I wanted, can I be okay with that? So that's what I'm grappling with today. And maybe you are too. God hears our prayers. God knows what we want. but God sees the bigger picture. And the answer for us is not letting go of our desire as much as letting go of the way God answers.